ज्ञानेन आकाशकल्पेन धर्मान् यो गगनोपमान् ज्ञेया भेदेन सम्बुद्धः तं वन्दे द्विपदां वरम्. Dear spiritual aspirants, we have a very nice topic today. Panchabhutas, how we can spiritually elevate by adoring these Panchabhutas, by doing upasana, by including these 5 bhutas in our upasana. We shall start with the earth. A journey has to be from known to unknown, gross to subtle. So, in front of us, the most visible is earth. In last 2000 years, the human history is filled with many genocides, wars, featured with pride and ego everywhere, Holocaust, so on and so forth. And it was also believed that the whole creation is for this human race, and humans can exploit the earth like anything. Based on this belief, all those so-called adventures happened. But gradually, perhaps due to the scientific development, maybe, slowly the people start to understand the significance of nature. Slowly some voice is heard, even from the great sociologists, psychologists, environmental scientists, ecologists, that nature has to be, or earth has to be seen as a mother. Earth has to be seen as a living entity. Earth has life. Nature has life. We need to recognize that. These kinds of statements we see in last century. We are trying to revert. It's because long before, I'm talking about the good old days, which were very, very long before the belief that nature is created for human race. Long before. Minimum 3 millennium before. Minimum. A voice was heard, and that voice is still heard in India, is getting resonated in India. Namo matre pruthivyai, maham mataram prithivim higumsisham, mamma mata pruthivi higumsit. This is from Yajurveda. Namo matre pruthivyai. Salutations to the Mother Earth. Very important. These are all very common in our India, therefore we may not get fascinated with all these things. But nowadays the modern psychologists, they insist, say C.G. Jung, insist to see the earth as mother. He talks about mother archetype and so on and so forth. But all these things are very common in India long before. Long before. This Yajurvedic mantra, salutations to the Mother Earth. Namo Matre Prithivya. Maham mataram prithivim higumsisham. May I not harm the mother earth. Mama mata prithivi higumsit. May the mother earth not harm me. Which means, if I harm her, she will harm me. And this is similar to the statement of Yudhishthira in Maha Bharata. Dharma eva hato hanti, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharma guards its guardian and dharma destroys its destroyer. Dharma eva hato hanti. And gradually this is getting evolved as karma theory. These things are interconnected. Mother Earth, if we start to spoil her, she will destroy us. This was the understanding in those good old days, perhaps throughout the world, not only in India, can be in Egyptian culture also, can be in Mayan. In all these places, this was the earlier understanding. Well, the whole world was engaged in a kind of animistic worship. It's very interesting. Nature was worshipped. Of course, in the Veda, every devata has an esoteric meaning. In the same way, Mother Earth, Bhumi, Bhuhu, in the external world is the earth which we see. But in the internal meaning of the Bhumi is Aditi, infinite nature, which also mainly includes unmanifest nature. Therefore, earth as a whole represents the unmanifest nature. This is a very interesting thing. Earth is seen to be a symbolic representation of the mother nature as a whole. Okay, let us go to that topic little later. Now let me focus on some other thing. Idol worship is extremely important in Sanatana Dharma. It's not that only if someone is worshipping idol, he can be called as a Hindu or Sanatani. It's not like that. But most of us worship idol. Idol worship is there. In ancient literature, say, let me take it from Valmiki Ramayana, is one of the ancient idol worship references occurs here. Can you guess what is that? In Valmiki's Ramayana, Bharata is taking sandals from Sri Ramachandra. This is an idol worship. Probably this is the very powerful kind of idol worship, deeply expressed in one of the most ancient epics of the world. Why I am talking here about idol worship? This is because I see idol worship as using the earth particles in our upasana. Therefore, I am starting here. Earth is used in our upasana, that is the idol worship. Every bhutam, among the 5 bhutas, every element is used in our upasana. Space is used in the meditation. Okay, the expansion of mind. Vayu is used in, air is used in pranayama. And fire is used in Agnihotra. Water is used in Tarpana and Tirthayatra. And then Mother Earth is used in idols, idol worship. So I am starting with idol worship. What is so great about it? For the sake of idol worship, generally Hindus are ridiculed. Generally. They are called as idolaters, great sinners. Idol worship is a very great sin. That is how they are ridiculed. And sometimes, why sometimes, many a time, even the Hindus, without understanding the significance of idol worship, they also are trained to talk ill of idol worship, and they themselves may not know why they are talking ill of idol worship. Interesting. Just because some others are talking ill of idol worship, we also have to. That's all. On those days, in Brahma Samaj, many youngsters, many teenagers, they talked ill of idol worship. Narendra was seeing all these things. He also was confused. Do you know who is this Narendra? None other than Swami Vivekananda. Then later he came to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and understood the significance of this idol worship. Let me give you an example of idol worship, significance of idol worship from the very ancient epic. Probably this must be the starting point of a visible idol in India. Okay. Bharata went to Sri Ramachandra, requested Rama to come back to Ayodhya. Rama said, I can't come back to Ayodhya now, I will come only after 14 years because I can't break the truth. I can't break the pratigya, promise, oath. Rama is a repository of tall virtues. Somehow Bharata struggles to bring him back to Ayodhya, which did not happen. Rama is very stubborn. Even though he is lovely, he is carrying Bharata and he honors the sentiments of Bharata. Still, he couldn't come back. He politely refused the plea, the request of Bharata and all the people of Ayodhya. At the time, there is no other way. Bharata has to come back. Here, Bharata requests Sri Ramachandra to give his sandals. For what? We can guess one reason. Without Rama, I have to live for 14 years in the separation of Rama. If I have Sri Ramachandra's sandals, then I may not feel the separation. This is one idea. And in Indian tradition, wherever the disciple gets separated from his guru, he gets a sandal from padukas from the guru. This is, in many places we can see this. Even Uddhava gets paduka, sandals from Krishna in separation. Later also, while Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking sannyasa, after that, this Vishnu Priya, his wife, she is doing aradhana of sandals because he is not only the husband but also the guru of Vishnu Priya. In Sri Ramanuja's story, in Sri Samartha Ramada's story, everywhere the disciples, when they get separated from the gurus, they take sandals. So, Bharata is starting point. Rama is not just a brother of Bharata, but a guru of Bharata. Dadarasha Bharato Gurum. Therefore, he is requesting for sandals so that I may not suffer from the separation of Sri Ramachandra. This is one reason. Another reason, very important reason. I am going to return to Ayodhya and I am going to rule for all 14 years. While ruling, I should not feel that I am ruling. This I should not enter. This is the idea. This I should not enter. Okay. With all good intentions, people start various social works in general. We see various social services, various trusts, various samsthas, various institutions. Those who started, they start only with the good intentions. But in few years, they start to fight. Some internal clash, some problem. Vase bahunam kalahaha bhavet varta dvayorapi. So it is certain that clash will start with some people who live together in some place. And there is a separation. Then from one trust it becomes two trusts, three samsthas, so on and so forth, everywhere in the world. Why all these things happen? But if you observe the history, you can understand one thing. Even though they start with good intentions, in few years, among them, at least one or two starts to feel, without me, who can run all these things? That's a very important dimension. Here comes that Rajoguna. I am serving this village. Without me, who can serve this village? This work cannot be done by anybody else. And I am the Prime Minister. Without me, who can govern this nation? I am a governor, or I am serving this village, I am serving this orphanage. These orphans will be thrown out if I am not here. This pollutes. I am the ruler. I am doing all these things. Without me, nothing can happen. Without me, nothing can happen. This pollutes the beings. Therefore, we should be very, very careful regarding service. Whatever methods we adopt to eliminate the ego, the same methods may make us to grow in ego. It's a very interesting thing. Ego may peep. Ego may peep out through the same methods. Therefore, we should be very careful. At any cost, this I should not grow. This ego should not grow. This identification should not grow. Our traditions, our elders have taught us, if someone is glorifying, if someone is, after this lecture, if someone comes and tells me, your lecture is wonderful, I am supposed to tell, all these things are God's grace, Bhagavan's Kripa. If anything wonderful is there, it's not mine, it's Bhagavan's. This is a culture in India. It's a culture in India. Wonderful, this Vaidyagrama is wonderful if someone says. These are all elders' grace, appa. This kind of response, it eliminates our ego. Lesser and lesser we become egoistic, more and more we get enhanced in spirituality. Spirituality and ego can never go together. Anything can be there with us. We can do puja, we can practice yoga, we also can do bhajan, we can do Vedanta Vichara, anything we can do. But unless ego is thinned, ego is getting eliminated, it cannot be called a spirituality at all. To spirituality is nothing but ego elimination. What is spirituality after all? If you explore the word spirituality, it has something to do with spirit, right? Spirit, spirituality. Spirit and ego are in opposite pole. Spirit and ego cannot go together. Ego means identification. This is mine. Without me, this cannot exist. All these things are mine. Somebody gave this shawl. This is mine. This garland is mine. This is ego. And expelling, I think. Removing all these identifications, being in me is spirituality. Without all this identification, I am contented within me. I am contented being pure consciousness. This is spirituality. If this is spirituality, the whole sadhana is to eradicate ego. Therefore, Bharata feels, in all these 14 years, nowhere I should get a feeling, I am ruling. Without me, this Kosala kingdom and Ayodhya cannot exist. This kind of feeling should not come to me. Therefore, he is taking these sandals. Why? Because through these sandals, Ramachandra is still here in Ayodhya and Sri Rama is ruling. That kind of tendency should be consistent in all 14 years. This is what he felt. This is a fantastic concept. It will work, especially in management, in HR, in human relations. It will work. Anywhere you can adopt it. If I work for myself, if I feel I am doing, if I feel I am doing for me, everything is for me, then the energy which is coming out of this, which is derived out of this petty ego, gets easily eradicated, is getting easily exhausted. But when there is an ego blast, if I stay in infinite consciousness, if I stay in the infinite divine, wherever I do something, if I feel all these things are done by the divine having me as a puni instrument, with this, the ego is getting eradicated. The energy which is derived is from the infinite divine, is from the infinite consciousness. Then you can see this energy can never get exhausted at all. This is a secret. That is how we see very great spiritual masters as very great achievers also. They are achievers of very great tasks. This is Karma Yoga. What I am telling is Karma Yoga. I am ruling Ayodhya can make Bharata restless, stressful. Easily energy can get exhausted. But with the Paduka's grace, the things are running. Okay, it's not that I am ruling Ayodhya. With the grace of Paduka, with the grace of the sandals of Sri Ramachandra, things are getting run. Things are going on. It's just a flow, it's going on. With this tendency, when Bharata is ruling the kingdom for 14 years, after 14 years, Sri Ramachandra comes back. There, Bharata submits the whole of kingdom to Rama. There he says, here in various divisions of this kingdom, various departments, things have got developed. Bhavataha tejasa sarvam kritam dasagunam. A granary. All these things have got 10 times developed in Ayodhya. With thy grace, with your grace. This is what Bharata says to Rama. This is Karma Yoga. This can be done even without Paduka. Even without Paduka, it can be done. Like Sri Ramachandra does like that. Sri Ramachandra, when Dasharatha says, my dear Rama, you should be crowned. Tomorrow you will be coronated. Rama comes to the mother Kausalya to seek her blessings. There Rama says, see the attitude. Rama says to Kausalya, Amma, tomorrow onwards I am going to rule the kingdom. He doesn't tell like that. He says, I am appointed in the service of the people by my father. This is a statement. Amba Pitra Niyuktosmi Prajapalana Karmani. This is a tendency of Rama. Therefore, bless me. For which Kausalya responds, this kingdom belongs to Lord Narayana, Purushe Pushkarekshane, Yayam Ikshaku Rajyasrihi Putratvam Samsarishyati. The kingdom which belongs to the divine, you are taking care of that, you are going to take care of that kingdom. You have got that great opportunity to serve. This is what Kausalya says. They are a family of great Chakravartins, great emperors. Kausalya, Rama. This is the emperor's family. Even their casual conversation represents the principle for which they are standing. Rama's feel goes like that. This belongs to Lord Narayana. This kingdom belongs to Lord Narayana. And we are serving. The same is reflected by Bharata. Bharata adds one more thing, that's all. What is added? Padukas. Padukas are added. Why I am telling all these things? You can see a miracle happening if you feel that I am not doing. You just disassociate yourself with the doership, for which the idol can be highly useful. Idol is very visible. Narayana is doing, Hanumanji is doing. I am not doing. Even in the very culture, if someone is glorifying us, I am not doing. See, Bhagavan is. This is a wonderful concept which is given to us by our elders. It leads both to Nisrayasa and Abhyudaya. It leads to calming the mind also, and the work also will run unpolluted. Work also is not getting spoiled. This kind of concept for which the idol worship can help. This Bharata story is a very long back story. Leave it. Even now we can see these kinds of people everywhere. I am remembered of a very great saint of Ayodhya. His name is Maniram Das. Maniram Das wanted to build a chowtry in which he wants to have hundreds and hundreds of saints to dwell and to do Sankirtan, Ramanama Sankirtana. But he is a beggar. He is seeking alms. He doesn't have any property. How can he do all these things? He just sits in the bank of river Sarayu and just sings the glories of Rama. Some people will come and give some money. He not only takes food for him, remaining he gives to other sadhus also there. On seeing this Annadanam, people are pleased and they start to give more. Then only this idea was sprouting in his mind, why can't we develop a chowtry? And he started to build that, but he did not have enough money. Then what happened? He installed a Hanuman. It is believed, it is told that in Maniram Das' dream, Hanuman came and said, don't worry, don't get discouraged. You continue your work, I will also work with you. I will also join. These are the words of Hanuman. Then what happened? He established an Hanuman idol. Many darshanarthis came to have darshanam of that Hanumanji. Gradually, many people came, and based on that Hanuman, the Chautri came. Not only Chautri, unimaginable job. What is that? A marble building in which all verses of Valmiki Ramayana are carved, are depicted. 24,000 verses of Valmiki. It's like a huge book. If you enter into that building, you feel as if you are entering into Valmiki's Ramayana. Probably the biggest book of the world. You can call it in that way. Some sayings can be depicted, right? In the same way, whole of the Valmiki's text, which has 24,000 verses, they all are depicted, such a kind of huge building. And also the Chautri in which 1,000 saints are staying, and every day chanting the name of Rama. They themselves cook, and they have that food. And those who come to Ayodhya for pilgrimage, they also are served. Such a kind of very great Dharma. This Dharma started with a beggar, a bhikshu. Bhikshus can do miracles here. Samartha Ramadas is a bhikshu. Vidyaranya is a bhikshu who established Vijayanagara empire. Shivaji's empire was established by Samartha Ramadas. They are bhikshus. Bhikshus can do miracles in this land. How? Because this is simply because they don't have this identification, ego, I or pride, this petty I. And they dwell in that infinite divine, infinite consciousness. Based on that, they work, and therefore the works are running. This is the thing. So, personally, those who are interested can have an idol in front of them, and they can talk to that idol. They can learn to perform a little puja, little kind of puja. Anybody can offer a flower to Lord Narayana. You are seeing the divine in that idol. You are offering puja. You are lighting a lamp. And whatever you are using in your life, you wish to give to your lovable one also. This is the basic idea. So, if I am having some eatables, I offer to the divine and take. I can take by myself. Someone asked a question. Generally, there is a habit in South India offering Vadamala to Hanumanji. Vadamala. A garland of Vadas. Vada is an Indian eatable. Vadamala. Why Hanuman is offered Vadamala? I don't know. Because to my knowledge, no Agama Shastra, no Tantra Shastra prescribes Vada garland for Hanumanji. It is a practice, that's all. Even in Valmiki's Ramayana, nowhere it is told Hanuman likes Vada. And I strongly doubt whether Vada existed at the time of Valmiki. This eatable Vada never is mentioned by Valmiki anywhere, 20,000 verses. Therefore, I am sure that Vada was not there. Then how come this Vadamala? Whether Hanuman likes or not, Vada we like. We like Vada. We want to consume it, we want to eat, we wish to have it. Then our elders say, you like Vada very much, but before having, you offer it to Hanuman. If you like Modaka, you offer it to Ganesha. Modaka, in Tamil we call it as Kulkattai. You offer it to Lord Ganesha and take. In this way we are trained. We make something, we offer it to Bhagavan, and we take. So that our ego is thinned. For me. This eatable is for me, everything is for me. Hey, first you offer to Bhagavan. And also share with others. That is also very important. These are all called as yajna. Yajna is nothing but sharing. Sharing, okay. So offer to Bhagavan and offer to others also. See, when you are offering prasada to Bhagavan, at that time the mantra which you chant, please see that mantra. It is about the eatables which have to be offered to others. Mogham annam vindate aprachetaha satyam bravimi vadayit satasya naryamanam pushyati no sakhayam kevalagho bhavati kevaladi. This is the mantra chanted. Mogham annam vindate aprachetaha. The unwise has the food, consumes the food without sharing with others. Such a kind of fellow, he is consuming his own sin. Chanting this mantra, we share with Bhagavan, which means after sharing with Bhagavan, we have to share with our fellow men. Then only we can consume, which means sharing is very important. This simple kind of yajna is very important. So the whole process of puja, I like Bhagavan, therefore whatever I like, I am offering to Bhagavan. Garland, flowers, eatables, and this Deeparadhana, Deepa Arati. All these things I do. When I am doing all these things, I really feel that in this idol, Swayam Bhagavan is coming. Dhyayami, avahayami. First I start with dhyanam. I meditate myself. My consciousness, na avishnuhu vishnu marchayet. And I feel that Bhagavan is coming to that idol. This is avahayami. And I feel that Bhagavan has come today to our house. It's a small cottage to which the universal Lord has come. I feel it. And I offer water, padayof padyam samarpayami, to wash his feet. And then to wash his hands, arghyam samarpayami. And to wash his mouth, mukhe achamaniyam samarpayami, snanam samarpayami. And I do abhisheka, then vastra, then I offer the food. There's 16, Shodasopachara Puja. Finally, I offer Nrityam, Ganam, all these things. In this way, Bhagavan is worshipped so that in the whole process of worship, my mind gets elevated. My mind gets elevated, my mind is peaceful, and my thoughts are thinned. So, no excitement. Mind becomes very calm. I experience the peace. Not only that, gradually the peace start to pervade. When I began to do puja, I saw the divine only in the idol, and gradually that feel spreads. I start to feel the puja dravyas as the divine. Puja dravyas, deepa or flowers, or the puja vessels which I wash. Even from the starting of washing, everywhere I start to see the presence of divine. In this way, the feel spreads. That is how idols can be used in our sadhana. This is the way of taking earth particles in our sadhana. That is why I am talking about this. And this expansion also, building a temple and different utsavas, festivals in the temple. A very great kings also get involved in those temples function. Why? Because this is a unique characteristic of Tamil Nadu or South India. Unique feature of Tamil Nadu, I am telling a very interesting thing. My father, Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal, in one of his books, he writes a very important observation. Where are Tamil kings' palaces? He is asking this question. Rajaraja Cholan's palace, Raja Mahendran's palace. Rajaraja Cholan's Brihadishwara temple is found, but his palace? Karikalan's palace. Karikalan's dam is still there. It's a minimum 2000 years dam. I am not joking. Even that dam is still existing. Karikalan is not a modern Chola king. Okay, even the modern Chola kings themselves are 1,000 years old. Karikalan is one of the ancient Chola kings who built the dam. Dam is still existing. This is called as Kallanai in Tamil Nadu. The dam talks about him, but his palace. No Tamil king's palace is existing now. Why? In Tamil Nadu, palaces are there. Sharaboji's palace is there. It's Maratha king. Nayakar palace is there. Again, Andhra king, Karnataka king. Where is Tamilian king's palace? Then we can't go to a wild imagination. Those palaces were demolished by the, as conquerors. We don't have evidence for all those things. These palaces were not destroyed. Here is a very, very important observation. Tamil kings did not have palaces at all. They lived with the common people. Can you imagine this? It's not that they are exactly the common people. Even among the common people, they would have definitely a bigger house. But it is not a very huge palace. In spite of building palaces, they built the same palace for Bhagavan, Ishvara. And their feel itself was like that. They felt that this Bhagavan is the king. I am not the king. The same Bharata's concept is getting resonated up to our times, up to the Chola king time, Pandya king time. They felt Lord Ranganatha or Brigadishwara. Brigadishwara is the ruler. Nataraja is the king. And for him, let us build the palace. Meenakshi is the queen. For her, let us build the palace. We are just workers. We are serving that Bhagavan, who is the king here. Therefore, whatever a king should possess, let us offer all those things to Bhagavan. That is how huge temples came in Tamil Nadu. And a king has to come on a horse or elephant, all those honors he has to accept. But the kings of Tamil Nadu, what they felt, let us offer all these things to Bhagavan. Let us consider themselves as servants. That is why you see such great emperors like Swadi Tirunal, Thiruvananthapuram. He called himself as Padmanabha Dasa, Lord of Bhagavan, Lord of Ishvara. These kinds of ideas you can see in the Chera king or Chola king or Pandya king. So the temple worship enters into your life, enters into very great king's life. Gradually, this is my feeling, gradually it contributes to democracy in India. Please understand. When we got independence, democracy without even a least of resistance entered into India, because this democracy is inherent in India. You go to several other countries, with so many resistances democracy came. Say in USA, for several years democracy was not there. With a very great fight, democracy came. Even after that, some community people cannot vote. Women could not vote in USA. And later, their voting got developed. In Kuwait, they are trying to bring democracy in Kuwait. Even now, women cannot vote in Kuwait. That is how you see resistance for democracy everywhere. But in India, democracy came. Like anything, Dr. Ambedkar says, democracy can come to India, liberty, equality and fraternity can easily come to India because they are inherent in India. This is what he says. So, this democracy I am talking about, what contributed in this democracy, because what contributed in the concrete democracy which came in 1950, I think. This came because our kings, they did not feel themselves as kings at all. They were Ranjanat Raja. Kings are called as Raja. Why? Because those who are gladdening the people, Ranjana means gladdening. They are the gladdeners of the people. Therefore, they are called as Rajas. They gladdened the people, therefore they are Rajas. Their very existence purpose is to gladden the people, that's all. So with this idea, if somebody is not like that, he will not be celebrated in India. Yes. If you go to the history, world history, only conquerors will be celebrated. Here in India, it's not like that. Conquerors are not celebrated. In Indian history textbook, conquerors may be celebrated. That's different. How many persons know here Vinayaditya or Lalitaditya? They are very great conquerors. Lalitaditya, Indian king, he is probably half Alexander. Such a great conqueror. We don't remember these names. Very important king. We don't remember these names. But if you go to Tamil Nadu, you can't find this name in Indian history textbook, but everybody knows. Manunidi Cholam. He is a small king. He is not a very great conqueror and all. He is a small king, but a very big king, because he is a man of justice. He stood for Dharma. He is not a conqueror. Stood for Dharma. Therefore, whether you read about him in history textbooks or not, every party will talk about it. Bedtime stories, if parties are available, without going to the Vruddhashrama, if they are available in houses, these grannies, they will narrate these kinds of stories. Manunidi Choran's story. How he stood for justice, how he stood for Niti. So whether a king is big or not, whether a king is how he becomes glorious in India, only through Dharma. How he had Dharma, how he had justice, how he had this great love towards the people. This is because he did not feel the ownership. He submitted this ownership to Bhagavan. That is how you see great Lord Ranganatha or Brigadishwara or Thiruvananthapuram Padmanabha Swami or here Meenakshi, Madurai Meenakshi. They offered the kingdom to Bhagavan psychologically and they felt they are the servants of Bhagavan. See the greatness of all these idols existing in the whole state, Tamil Nadu or Kerala or Karnataka. This is what happened. So, I think I made a justification to the topic that how earth particles can be brought in our upasana. Okay. So, this is one dimension of earth particle. Let me go to a new thing regarding the earth. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the word Annam comes. We all know Annam means food. But Annam literally means food. But philosophically, its suggestive meaning is something different. Its contextual meaning in Taittiriya Upanishads is different. It's not just food. You may take it as matter. Matter which you consume. That is Annam. Mother Earth represents that matter. In this context, let us see how the Veda views, how the Veda sees the matter. The understanding. Even though it is peripheral, Veda gives respect to that understanding. What is that? Annadvai prajaha prajayante yakascha prithivigushrutaha ato anne naiva jivanti ataina dapiyantyantataha annagum hi bhutanam jeshtam tasmaat sarvaushadhamuchyate. This comes in Bhrigu also, the 3rd chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhrigu's first finding. It's a peripheral finding, we agree. But we need to respect the peripheral finding also. Annam brahmeti vyajanat. Annadhyeva kalvimani bhutani jayante. Annam is Brahman. Means Annam is ultimate. From Annam, from matter, or you may call it as food also. From this material world, from this matter, from the substance, from matter, all these things are born. Annadhyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Annena jatani jivanti. They all sustain through the matter. Annam prayanti, abhisambhishanti. They all merge, all these beings, all these things merge in matter. This is the first and peripheral understanding of Bhrigu. This understanding comes in the second chapter also. Annadvai prajaha prajayante yakascha prithivigrishrutaha ato annenaiva jivanti atainadapi antyantyataha. This is nothing but, there is nothing beyond matter. From matter things are born. In matter things exist. In matter things merge. Let you have this understanding first. This is a peripheral understanding. Even though it is peripheral, please have this. And this is one of the sadhanas. What is the fruit of this sadhana? Sarvam vai tennam apnuvanti ye annam brahmopasate. Sarvam vai te annam. They get all which should come from the matter. Okay. Sarvam vai te annam apnuvanti. Ye annam brahma upasate. Those who do upasana of annam as Brahman. Those who do upasana of matter as Brahman. Doing upasana of matter as Brahman means what? Understanding matter to be the substance. Understanding the matter to be the material cause of the existence. And working with that matter. Who does all these things? These mantras we leave unnoticed. If you see this mantra, who does all these things nowadays? Scientists. Scientists normally. What the scientists do in research laboratory, they deliberately bring a focus. If someone is talking about consciousness, and, oh yes, stop it. My focus is towards it. What? Matter. Finding out various layers of matter. And finding out various laws of nature regarding matter. Don't bring so many imaginations, wild imaginations and things or assumptions here. This is a laboratory where the focus is matter. Sincerely a scientist dedicates in this. That is how the whole of Newtonian physics started. Up to our times it has grown. The vrata they take, the O weight they take. We will not talk about anything which is not known to us. This is the oath. You know, there is a very great writer named Harari. He's a Jewish, Israelist writer, a very famous researcher. And his book, well-known book, Sapiens. In Sapiens, he says, the whole world almost the whole world was ruled by, at least many countries were ruled by whom? England. England ruled the whole of the world almost. And he says, it is very interesting that while the great countries on those days, 1600, 1500s India, 1500s China, when these great gigantic countries are existing, this small country with its less potential ruled the whole world. And how it was possible? Was it due to army? Was it due to manpower? Harari observes a very important observation. Due to the modern physics, this is what he said. Due to the modern physics, what is great about this modern physics? He says, three things he says. Point number one, they know what they don't know. This he names as a recognition of ignorance. Very, very important element in physics. Okay. When we research, if we don't know something, we should not imagine. Imagination is wonderful in aesthetics. Imagination is wonderful in art. Probably imagination can help in philosophy too. But in science, in physics, okay, if you don't know something, you have to admit that I don't know. Even sometimes, even scientists err. Scientists start to break this vow. Okay. Many scientists started to talk so many things about consciousness. Something like consciousness is a secretion from the body. It is something like it's a chemical reaction. At that time, Niels Bohr came. Niels Bohr said, admit that even a very atomic knowledge of consciousness we don't have. This is a scientist's lakshana. This is a feature of a scientist. We have to do justification to science. We are scientists. We can't imagine so many things. If we don't know anything about consciousness, openly tell. This is what Niels Bohr said. No scientist up to our time, he says, Niels Bohr says, no scientist up to our time has even an atomic knowledge about this consciousness, which is distinct from matter. This is what I have only this knowledge, he says. This is the only knowledge which I am having about this consciousness. I am sure that consciousness is distinct from matter. And we don't have any other knowledge about this consciousness. We scientists need to admit. This is what he says. So, recognition of ignorance is the power of England, power of any scientist. That is how the science grows. This recognition of ignorance means the focus to matter which we know. Having this focus, when they start to grow further in research, when they start to search and research, with that inquisitiveness, gradually, step by step, they move towards a higher level, that is energy, from anna to prana, from brahmeti vyajanat. To energy level they move. I see this as a kind of upasana of Archimedes, upasana of Newton. I don't hesitate to call it as upasana. Not all scientists are upasakas, I am sure. But some of the scientists, when we go through their kind of meditation, when we go through their kind of internal inquisitiveness and search, we can take as upasana. As a product of this upasana, sarvam vaite annam apnuvanti. Okay. Mother Earth is a cow who can milk for everybody. Therefore, they get whatever they want from this Mother Nature due to this upasana. Whatever they want, they get it from Mother Nature. But Veda cautions again. One has to be very, very careful regarding this upasana. By seeing matter as ultimate, matter as the cause of universe, by bringing his focus to the matter, working with matter, he may get lot of comforts, sarvam vaite annam apnuvanti. But if he gets stuck there, after all these things, he may get consumed by the nature. That is what is told in the next passage. That is why Annam is called as Annam, Upanishad says. The mantra. Why Annam is called as Annam? Etymological meaning is given. Probably Sri Vinay Chandra may know that. It's not coming to me. After this, Sarvam Vaite Namapnuvanti Nam Brahmopasate. Adyate Ticha Bhutani Tasmadannam Taduchyata Iti. Adyate Attiche Bhutani. Annam's etymological meaning. What's the meaning? It is eaten, therefore, it is consumed, therefore it is called as Annam. It consumes. It consumes us. We are consumed by the things which we consume. Very, very deep observation. Therefore, we should be very careful with the things which we consume. If I give an example, you can understand. A diabetic patient comes to someone's house. He is a special guest. Therefore, they are asking, you can have Rasagulla? He thinks, doctor is stopping me. No, only one day. That too is a prasad. You can't ignore a prasad. Therefore, please take this Rasagulla. They are bringing this Rasagulla. Okay, one Rasagulla is okay, he says. But they brought some 10 Rasagullas. He's seeing this. Neither doctor is there nearby, nor wife. Therefore, he starts to eat this Rasagulla. He is talking and eating. While we eat, if we talk, we don't understand what we eat. We lose the awareness. That is why it is told in Shastra, Maunena Bhoktavyam. While we are having food, we should concentrate on that food. If we are going on talking, in this postmodern era, even people don't talk. They have this mobile and they are eating. They don't understand what is going inside. Therefore, what happens? After conversing, after talking to the people, he sees the plate, all 15 Rasagullas have gone. Now comes a question. Is he consuming Rasagullas or those Rasagullas are consuming him? Adyate atticha bhutani. This is not only with Rasagullas, it can be with air condition, it can be with so many things which we are using. In our campus, there, Yoga University, Svyasa, there is a nice person called Sri Raghuramji. He cracks a joke. Someone, his friend, brought a dog for walking. After a long time, Sri Raghuramji is seeing his friend. The friend is telling, no, I can't now stop and talk to you because dog is stressful. Dog is demanding me to come. I have brought the dog for walking, therefore I can't stop. Sorry, I will talk to you later. I have brought a dog with me. I am walking with this dog. Then Sri Raghuramji asked the question, have you brought the dog or dog has brought you? Is dog walking with you or you are walking with dog? Very important, because control is with the dog. The same way, I am not using mobile. I am not using the gadgets, and gadgets are consuming me. Any materialistic pressure is like that. Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. They weaken. They not only weaken the mind, they weaken the senses also. They weaken our body. Everything is getting weakened by the over usage of the matter. Therefore, we have to be very careful about the matter. When we are offering food to Bhagavan or when we are having food, before having food in Yajurveda, they chant Trisuparna mantras. In Rig Veda, they chant a chapter named Annadana Suktam. It is called as Annadana Suktam. Navavu Devaha Kshudamid Vadandaduhu. The whole chapter is dedicated for this. Be careful. And the food is talking to the consumer. My dear consumer, I am going to consume you. Aham annam annam adantam admi. With these mantras, after chanting these mantras only, he touches the food. Okay. You observe these mantras, the Rigvedic mantras before having food, Yajurvedic mantras before, Samaveda mantras before having food. Apyayantu mamangani vakpranas chakshushrotram. The mantra is about Vaishwanaragni, Chandogya. Samavedins chant that mantra. Chandalaya prakshipet mantra. Before, every day before having food, one has to think of Chandala. According to Samaveda, Samavedic prescription. Okay. While having food, everywhere this Vaishwanara, Vaishwanara is Brahman. Okay. This Vaishwanara, Vishwanara is Vaishwanara, the cosmic Purusha. Even in Chandala, Vaishwanara is found. I should share with my food even with the Chandala, thinking that the Vaishwanara is in the form of Chandala. This idea is conveyed in Chandogya Upanishad. Only after chanting this mantra one has to have food by Samavedins. Why I am telling all these things? Sharing is one of the upasanas related to this Mother Earth. Caring and sharing. So with this let me conclude the Prithvi Upasana, Mother Earth's Upasana. Let me go deeper. For a few minutes I will talk. Then as I am asked, we can have a 10 minutes question and answer session. So this sharing and caring, when it comes, we can't give up the concept of ritual fire in the Veda. So let me take fire. After fire we will go to water. And Panchabhutas, first comes earth, then water, then only fire. But let me go first to fire. The ritual fire. The ritual fire in front of us is a symbolic representation of the will, the passion, kratuhu. Kratu you can call it as will, kratu you can call it as passion. What kind of passion? Passion beyond the personal likes and dislikes. Passion beyond the egoistic likes and dislikes. Passion beyond, in Sanskritam, raga and dvesha. What can be a passion beyond raga and dvesha? Passion of universal welfare. Okay. And Vishvesham hitaha is a mantra. Devebhihi manushe jane. Tomagne yajnanam hota Vishvesham hitaha Devebhihi manushe jane. The passion of universal welfare, which is getting manifested in several forms like empathy, so on and so forth. This passion of universal welfare is established in the heart of every living being. If you cherish this passion of universal welfare, this is called as yajna. To cherish this passion of universal welfare, we need to work. All these works are offered as oblations to the internal Agni, internal fire. It's a very interesting thing. There's a psychological interpretation of yajna. Externally, we have a ritual fire. We are offering oblations and clarified butter, ghritam. And this is the external process. In this, what does this external process mean? Rigveda says, Bhumim parjanya jinvanti divam jinvanti agnayaha. This external fire, while the ghee, the clarified butter of a deshi cow, all these things are offered, the smoke spreads in the space and clears, therefore it causes a perfect raining, seasonal raining. Okay. Through this seasonal raining, climates are fixed, ritus are fixed. Ritus are called as ritus because they are consistent with ritam. Please understand. Ritam. In Sanskrit, ritam is a Vedic word. Ritam means cosmic order. Niyatam ritam. Rigveda says. Ritam is cosmic order. Ritus means seasons. Ritus are called as ritus because they are consistent with ritam. Ritam is created by this Agnihotra. That was their belief. Of course, now it is no more a belief, it is experimented. There are several hundreds of research papers, scientific papers, which show how the Agnihotra brings the seasonal rain and purifies the ozone. Purifying ozone is clearly talked in the Veda. Asita varna pavakaha. There are various mantras which talk about it. Since this ritual fire is purifying the ozone, purification of ozone is taken to be the symbol of universal welfare. Because purification of ozone represents the cosmic order. That is why it is taken to be universal welfare. This ritual fire is the passion of universal welfare, psychologically. Sri Aurobindo says, Agnirhota kavikratuhu. Kavikratuhu is a Rigvedic mantra. In fact, these two terms, Satyam, Ritam, both the terms have the same meaning, truth. But appropriately, exactly, Sri Aurobindo translates Satyam as truth in being, Ritam as truth in movement. Fantastic. Truth in being, truth in movement. That is the cosmic order. And since this ritual fire is causing the purification of ozone layer, this is taken to be the symbolic representation or an archetype of the passion of universal welfare. Kamo bhutasya bhavyasya. Agni is called as Kamo bhutasya bhavyasya. Vishwanaraha, Vaishwanaraha. These are the names of Agni. Vishwanarahitaha means all these things represent he is the universal welfare, passion of universal welfare. When this passion of universal welfare can be quenched by the services which we render to others, then it becomes yajna. Externally also we perform yajna. In this external yajna, we purify the ozone layer. For this great yajna, we bring, it was a very great function on those days. All other functions in Indian culture came later, but the very ancient function of the Vedic world was this yajna, sangatikarana, bringing the people together, bringing the things together, bringing whatever we use together. Yajna means sangatikarana, bringing all these, yaja sangatikarane. Yaji is also to offer. Yaja dane. Yaja also is to worship. Yaja deva pujayam. Okay, it's very interesting. So this yajna with the ritual fire This is used and this is seen as the passion of universal welfare. And in this, all the gods are invited and their offering is given. And we see the last mantras of Rigveda, Samano mantraha, Samiti samani, Samanam manaha, Sahachittam esham, Sangachadvam, Samvadadvam. Generally, when we go through the Vedas, we understand the ending point of the Veda will be the essence of the whole of the Veda. By this, we understand the last chapter of Rigveda is the essence of the whole of Rigveda. Sangachadvam. Come on, let us gather. Samvadadvam, let us talk each other. Samvo manamsi janatam. May we get united through our mind. Samvo manamsi janatam. This is how the divinity is gathered. Let us follow them. To come together, what is required? To bring the people together, what is required? Some commonness is required. Some union, some unity is required. This is called a samadharma. Rigveda samadharma, samano mantraha, samitihi samani. Mantra is common to all, samano mantraha. Samitihi samani, assembly is common to all. Samanam manaha saha chittam esham. Let us have several minds for single common cause. Okay, that is universal welfare. Then, Samanam mantram abhimantrayevaha. May we plan for the welfare of all. Samanam mantram abhimantrayevaha. And let us offer a common oblation. Samanena vaha havisha juhomi. Wonderful mantras. Unless we have this samadharma, we can't gather together. A gathering means, gathering is yajna in the Veda. So, yajna is a very vital, whatever you call, worship form or ritual in the Vedic literature, very old kind of literature, worship. You see various fire altars in Harappan civilization, in Mohenjo-daro, in Dolavira. Such a very old form of worship this yajna is. So, today we saw two bhutas, one Prithvi, another one fire. Okay. Tomorrow we can continue with water, vayu, air and space. Dhanyavadaha. Ram Ram.
There is the ritual and worships are any effort starting and ending. My question is, the Bhagavan we listen from the Upanishad, what is Anadi Ananta? The Adi Anta action, how can take us to Anadi Ananta, what is imperishable, unchangeable?
Very interesting question. When divine is infinite, how finite rituals can take to the infinite divine? And there is a very paradoxical statement in Kathopanishad. Anityaihi dravyaihi praptavanasmi nityam. We need to explore that passage. The simple answer is, I am not going deeper into this. Simple answer is, rituals are there only to remove, okay, the dirts in our mind. Okay. This is something like unlearning. Removing the impurities in mind. Okay. It is not taking us to the infinite divine, because infinite cannot be attained. Anything which is attained has to be lost in the world. If there is something called attaining infinite, it also has to get lost. They call moksha, right? The word moksha. Moksha cannot be eternal if it can be attained. Therefore, all these rituals, moksha is already always there, everywhere. Since moksha is infinite, moksha is inseparable from the infinite divine. But we perform rituals, we perform any kind of spiritual sadhana. It can be anything. It can be even Vedanta Sarvana. It has a beginning and ending. Vedanta class starts and Vedanta class ends. Pranayama starts and ends. Bhajan starts and ends. If cause has a beginning and end, then effect also should have a beginning and end. Okay. Through the finite sins, one cannot attain the eternal hell. The very concept of eternal hell is wrong in Vedanta philosophy, because the sins which we commit are finite, by which one cannot attain the eternal result. Okay. Moksha or Brahman cannot be a result of anything in the world. Okay. Moksha or Brahman is infinite. We are that Brahman, we are in that. Okay. But through sadhanas, what we do is, we are removing all the impurities within us. With any sadhana. In the same way, through rituals, we can remove the impurity within us. Why we are doing rituals? Shri Parameshwara Prityartham, Shriman Narayana Prityartham, we are doing rituals. This was Sankalpa. To gladden Bhagavan Narayana, I am performing this ritual. How he is getting gladdened? Because I am offering flowers, I am chanting his mantra, he becomes very happy on hearing all these things, all this stotra and eulogy. No. Upatta Durita Kshayadwara Parameshwara Prityartham. Okay. Upatta Durita Kshayadwara. By performing this ritual, by performing this worship, the impurities are removed from my heart. By the removal of the impurities in my heart, Bhagavan is pleased. Bhagavan is pleased. Okay. That is how it is going on. So, it is not attaining the infinite divine through rituals. These rituals can be helpful to remove all the impurities within us. The whole of yoga is like that. While Patanjali is telling, Patanjali says, you will attain infinite Atman or infinite divine. Patanjali doesn't tell like that. What Patanjali says, all the chitta vrittis will be stopped. Chitta vrittis are calmed. The impurities are stopped. Then, tada drashtuhu swarupa praptihi. Patanjali doesn't tell like that. Swarupe avasthanam. When all impurities are removed, expelled, one gets established in his or her own core, her own swarupa, which is infinite, of course, Ananta Samavati. Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, I do have a couple. Let me start with the first one. You spoke about the fantastic temples in Tamil Nadu where the kings, made those temples as an offering to God and saw themselves as servants. But in the current times, the temples are in a different state than what they would have been built. So when we go to temples today, right, while there is a sense of bhakti, what are the other things that we should see as commoners in some of these temples, that may have been constructed for bigger purposes?
So I understand your question to be what we have to understand from temples. Am I right?
Yes.
Is that a question or?
Part of the question and the
part of the question. Yeah. Little before, probably temples are in danger. That's what you are.
Yeah, as well. Okay. That's the subtle question.
Very. If I enter into it, we may have a very long answer. Probably there are better experts to talk about it. It is a separate subject which may take some 1.5 hours. Probably persons like Mr. T.R. Ramesh and all, if you invite them, they will talk nicely in a better way than me. But what can you expect from me? What can I give to you regarding this? And they have dedicated their life, okay, what to say, going to the court almost every day, working hard in their life for this temple worship and how temples are in danger. Probably from my side, what I want to tell is if the people develop more and more Shraddha and the bhakti, true devotion, only based on this devotion we can, what to say, எதிர்கொள்ளுதல் in English. We can face these troubles, and also with the devotion, as I said, devotion can give the power. Sandals gave the power to Bharata. Hanumanji gave the power to Maniram Das. And we have in a shloka in Shivananda Lahari, Bhaktihi kim na karoti. What bhakti cannot do, bhakti can achieve anything. So if we develop that true bhakti towards the divine, with the power of bhakti, we can solve all, we can cross all these problems which happen in the temple. And only through that bhakti, through that passion towards the divine, we can do this. Therefore, let us develop this bhakti toward Bhagavan. This is what I can give as answer.
Thank you.
Rama.
Any more from the audience?
And it is all expected, sir. I am sorry to tell this. In the whole of the world history, if an insight is descending from a realized soul or an insightful person, when it remains as an insight with a very few followers, okay, everything will be truthful. But gradually when it starts to grow, the followers are happy, of course, they want to grow. Their philosophy, the insight which has come from their Acharya, in due course of time, gradually the insight becomes dogma in third or fourth line. Then dogma gradually becomes just a belief system. Belief system gradually leads to fanaticism. And how can we market this whole system? Many people who are highly disconnected with this, they will come. They will start that market. They will start that business. With any institution, it can happen. Therefore, when the institution is growing to the second or third phase, on one hand, we should be happy. On the other hand, we should be very, very vigilant. The institution can get spoiled since it grows. Therefore, I know some great souls who never wished in their life to grow at all, because if their teaching gets many followers, it may get diluted. Therefore, let me just stay in cave. Let me just be with my own 4 or 5 followers as satsang. These kinds of great souls I know, but generally we can't be contented in that way, because this vision of loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, sarve bhavantu sukhina has to spread everywhere. Everybody has to get benefited, but with a very great care and vigilance it has to grow. The institutions like great Tirumala, Tirupati and all, they are not ordinary things. Today crores and crores of people are coming. Therefore, unfortunately, the corruption is expected only. We should be very vigilant. We also feel that Bhagavan is there within Sanctum Sanctorium. With that vigilance, we need to have an approach towards all these things. Dhanyavada.
Thank you so much for your insightful session.